Yeah, boss of YouTube, what's up everybody? How's it going, guys? Oh, the hype still continues for the new leaks from Ultra Sun and Moon, and this specific video is something that I thought about just kind of separating from the other videos, like from yesterday's 2 uploads, like the UB stats and all that stuff. I thought of separating this because Necrozma itself has become like its own entity. Essentially, it's kind of like Kirim was back in Black and White, and then when Black and White 2 came out, it got 2 new fusions, and that's exactly what's happened here with Necrozma. So spoiler alerts, I'm going to be showing the stats and the moves of the 2 new main forms and the secret new version of Necrozma. So if you guys don't want to be spoiled, then just letting y'all know right now. So yeah, if you guys do enjoy the video, make sure to show our support, hammer arm that like button down below, and let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about these new forms of Necrozma. So let's go ahead and jump into the first 2 that I want to talk about, the Dusk Main Necrozma and the Dawnwing Necrozma. Obviously you guys have seen this because they are the cover legendaries. And the thing about Necrozma, when it was initially introduced, and I think I touched on this in one of yesterday's videos, is that it's kind of like a jack of all trades, essentially. Like, Necrozma can do so many things. Like, it can be a decent wall, it can be a good physically offensive mon, specially offensive mon, potential sweeper with access to rock polish, which is kind of nice. Its coverage, however, though, is really not the best around, and thanks to access to move tutor moves, it gets a pretty solid amount of new moves potentially, which is really awesome, and I'll touch into the move tutor moves in a second. But the main thing about Necrozma, obviously, this game, is the fact that it has these 2 new forms. Now, the great thing about this is that when Kirim had its new forms introduced back in Black and White and Black and White 2, I myself, as many others most likely, expected that both of those forms would go straight to Ubers. Okay, sorry, I had to clear my throat. But yeah, I assumed that the 2 new forms would go straight to Ubers. However, though, Kirim Black sticked around in OU, and it's been OU ever since 5th gen, while Kirim White has been forever banned to Ubers, because realistically, Kirim has a much better special move pool than physical move pool. That's why you still see Kirim Black right now in OU running special moves like Ice Beam, Focus Blast sometimes, Hidden Power, and Earth Power, because it can still take advantage of that base 120 special attack. But if it was 170 special attack, now that would be a whole different story. So that's why I kind of got the feeling like maybe either Necrozma, Duskmane Necrozma, or Dawnwing's Necrozma could potentially end up being in the OU tier. Not both of them, like maybe one of them for sure is what I'm thinking, because the thing about it is it really comes down to like how well the physical moves can be used, or how well the special moves can be used. Because let's say it's like the case of Kirim again, where Kirim had a humongous special move pool but a very limited physical move pool, which is what makes Kirim Black pretty decent to deal with in the OU tier. Plus it's weak to stealth rocks as well, which really helps it out. But that's where things get tricky here with Duskmane and Dawnwing's Necrozma, is that they're not weak to stealth rocks. Like, one of the forms resists stealth rocks in the top one here, and I'll show you guys like what exactly these stats look like, because I managed to put them into the damage calculator. But first off, Duskmane Necrozma I think is really decent. Like, the only downside about these forms is that their speed is really not that good. Like, hold on, let's take a look over here at these move tutor moves. If we go down here, the final move is Alley Switch, which is not really anything good. It gets access to outrage, but you probably wouldn't be using that in the first place. Like, its physical moves are alright. Like, if it gets access to Sunseal Strike, then that would actually be pretty decent, because I'm pretty sure that you should be able to transfer one move to the new Necrozma forms, which is kind of what they did with Kirim and Kirim White and Kirim Black, where Kirim Black got Fusion Bolt and then Kirim White got Fusion Flare. So that's pretty cool. But the thing about it here is that physical Necrozma Duskmane form, not Duskmane form, hello, is it Dusk? No, hold on, I'm dumb, sorry. Like, there's so much, yeah, Duskmane form, okay, there's so much like going through my head, and I'm trying to like put it into words for you guys. But let me know, like, do you guys think these things are going to be OU, or do you think they're going to be instantly banned to Ubers? The thing about them too is that they still have the Prism Armor ability, which even makes them just so much better. Like, one of the most common, or one of the best pursuit trappers currently in the tier is Tyranitar. Now I'm probably just gonna be focusing more on OU things, because realistically there's no chance in hell that these things are gonna drop below the OU tier. I know Kieran Black was UU for like the first 2 weeks of Sun and Moon UU, but now it's very solidly in OU and never coming back down. But you guys get what I mean. Like, even if let's say Dustmane Necrozma here were to be pursuit trapped, it still has access to Prism Armor, which is basically solid rock, which means I think you only take 3/4 of damage as opposed to the whole 100% of damage. You only take 75% of the damage. I think that's how it works, roughly around there. So that means they are kind of resistant to super effective moves. And another thing about them is that, again, Necrozma has access to Rock Polish and Autotomize, which means this thing, like here, like let's say you're running 252 speed. So hold on, so at 253, which you may not even need to run max speed on this realistically, like doubled, that's a base of that's a base 506, well not base, but it's up to 506 speed. That outspeeds just about everything in the tier already that's not commonly scarfed. Let's take a look at Garchomp. So times 1.5, you would be outspeeding Garchomp at that point if you were just running like Adamant max attack. And even Adamant max attack, like, it's 454 physical attack. Now, to be honest, Kieran White has a base 170 attack, but that's the difference between those two. Again, is that this thing is not weak to rocks. This thing has an ability that weakens super effective moves against it. Kieran Black does not. Kieran Black is weak to a lot of common moves in the OU tier, and just the fact that it's weak to stealth rocks already means that it instantly, just about 7 out of 10 times, comes in losing 25% of its health. But this thing only takes 6%. Above that, it could even, like, realistically, it could probably run like a bulky offensive set as well. I don't think this gets access to Calm Mind. Does it? Does it get? It should get Calm Mind. I mean, it is a psychic type. Hold on, let me just filter it out. Calm Mind, it even gets access to Calm Mind. So I could see like maybe a double dance set like being really super really effective in OU potentially, depending on how things go. And this thing is just wild, man. It can also just be a good defensive mon, pivot mon, because look at these stats right here. 97 HP with 127 defense and 109 spadef. That's some pretty good bulk, if you ask me. Let's take a look at Kieran Black, actually. Like, I'm not trying to compare these mons, but like in a sense they're almost similar. Like, look at that. It's practically bulkier than Kieran Black is, and Kieran Black has very solid bulk. Now, yes, the speed for Kieran Black is much better, obviously, but that's the thing. Like, if this thing is already bulky and can take hits pretty well, then it can just use that free initial turn to set up a Rock Polish, set up an Autotomize, and just go ham on the opponent's team. And that's where I think this thing could definitely shine. I'm not sure how it would do entirely in Ubers. Ubers is not a tier that I've focused too much on since like X and Y, but I'm really hopeful that one of these will end up in the OU tier. So like a physical set, I realistically think can put in so much work. You got Earthquake, you got Knockoff, you got Swords Dance, you got Sunsteel Strike, which is a very good stab move, a steel type stab move. Actually, hold on, how much is the base power? Let's see, Sunsteel Strike right here, base 100 stab steel move, which is amazing. Honestly, like, this is a very spammable move if you really think about it. Like, all you have to do is get rid of whatever bulky water your opponent may have, and even then you can just weaken the bulky waters with this mon still, because it still gets some pretty good coverage moves. And I'm not sure if this thing requires a specific item on it. Like, if it can go itemless, that just makes it even better, realistically thinking about it. Like, I honestly think that if this thing were to be in the OU tier, it would definitely just be causing nothing but chaos, just because of its pure bulk, man. Its bulk along with Prism Armor, I think, is like where the big issue is, because again, super effective moves are hitting it for less damage. And while it may be weak to a couple common moves, it still has that good bulk along with recovery, which just makes it even more absurd. So yeah, I don't know, man. Like, again, let me know, do you guys really think like this could possibly be OU? Like, Duskmane Necrozma just sounds absurd in my opinion, honestly. So let's take a look at the other form of Necrozma. And Duskwing Necrozma kind of fits in the same boat as Duskmane Necrozma, but the thing about Duskwing Necrozma is that it's Psychic Ghost, so it's 4 times weak to Pursuit Trappers, which could maybe kind of make it a little bit less effective, I guess, than Duskmane Necrozma. But the thing about it is that it still gets Prism Armor as well. While I think that Duskmane Necrozma would be slightly better than Duskwing Necrozma, in the sense that Duskmane has better bulk with being able to have better use out of Prism Armor, essentially. As where Duskwing Necrozma, I think, could be more of the offensive variant of Necrozma, because its Moongeist Beam could be very, very spammable in the tier. This kind of suffers the same as the Duskmane, because its speed is realistically not that good. But again, that speed can easily be mitigated by just going for a Rock Polish, essentially. And then its special move coverage kind of got a little bit of a buff with access to Heat Wave, as you can see here from the tutors. Heat Wave now allows this thing to be able to hit steel types for super effective damage, although at the same time Moongeist Beam is still neutral, and coming off of a base 157 special attack, which we know is about 454. If this thing just ran choice specs, this thing would just destroy everything. Like Timid Nature, like 278 speed. Okay, that's not really that good. I'm not sure like what exactly you would need to go from timid to from modest to timid to outspeed. But if you could just go modest choice specs on this set, guys, this thing is about to put in nothing but work. Now it does kind of fall in the fact that it doesn't have the same ability as regular Lunala, where it's basically multi-scale at 100% HP, but Prism Armor is still kind of useful in a sense, although I think this would be more of the offensive version of the Necrozma, while Duskmane form is more of a defensive, like bulky mon, which is why I think it would be a little bit better than this form of Necrozma. Although realistically looking at it, its defenses are still very, very solid, and it could potentially even go like a mix set. Actually, that's something I didn't touch on for Duskmane here, is that it can also just go mixed, potentially mixed setup as well. That's even guys, like, this is insane. Like, there's no way. I honestly think there's no way that these could be OU. Like, I'm trying to think of like how they could be dealt with. Like, yeah, Pursuit Trappers would be nice, like a Scarfer, maybe like Scarf T-Tar can just Pursuit Trap them. Well, I can safely Pursuit Trap Duskwing form, but Duskmane form would probably be a little bit harder to deal with. What other common Pursuit Trap mons are there in the tier? Off the top of my head, I'm not really too sure. Like, I'm trying to find a list here. I guess maybe Bisharp could like go up to OU potentially, especially with all these new defog mons being introduced. But if I were to choose one, I think that maybe Duskmane would stay in OU. But then again, like, it's really 50-50, man. I don't know. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Like, I really am not too sure about this. I would really love to hear what you guys have to say about the mons here. Like, as you can see here, like, this is exactly what their stats are. And modest, dude, like 454 special attack. That's absurd. With Rock Polish, like Moongeist Beam, Heat Wave, Psychic or Psyshock, and Rock Polish, that just sweeps so much right there. That hits just about everything, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, could you imagine these things behind Aurora Veil? Holy crap, that would be absurd. There's no way. Okay, just all the possibilities, guys. Like, there's so many things that these two mons just alone could do in the OU tier, and that's not taking into consideration all the new Ultra Beasts too that were introduced that could be in this metagame as well. So I rambled on enough. I want to touch on real quickly on the final version of Necrozma. Now, this is a huge spoiler. I'm gonna warn you guys again, this form is specifically a leak. Nothing has been said about it publicly, so if you guys don't want to be spoiled by it, then just click off the video right now. Let me know what you guys think about Necrozma. It's Dusk main and Dawn Wing form in the comment section below. So yeah, moving here, we have the new form of Necrozma. Now, personally, this thing is stupid. This is Ubers. This is 110% Ubers. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. No way around it. This thing, there's no chance this thing is ever dropping into the OU tier. Like, this thing right here is 155% Ubers. I think I read somewhere that this thing might even be stronger than Mega Rayquaza. Now let that sink in. Mega Rayquaza, if I'm not mistaken, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, was the first Ubers Pokemon banned from Ubers. Mega Rayquaza is the reason why Anything Goes is playable on Showdown, because you cannot have Mega Rayquaza in Ubers. That thing literally just sweeps everything, destroys everything, makes stall unviable. There's no walls that can take it on, and this could possibly be exactly like Mega Rayquaza, where it's just too good for the Ubers tier. And that's kind of crazy. Like, let's take a look at a more visual sense of its stats here. So right off the bat, base 97 HP defense and Spadef honestly is pretty good in my opinion, although it doesn't get access to Prism Armor. It has some new ability here, and if these notes are correct, it gets Neuroforce here, increases the damage dealt by super effective moves. Think about that for a second. This thing can gain stab off of hidden powers, essentially. If it works kind of like Protean, where you change into the type without having to change into the type, but still gain the power boost just for super effective moves in general, this thing has stab on top of stab, potentially, if something is getting hit for super effective damage from its psychic stab move or its dragon stab move. Let that, again guys, like, this is absurd, man. Like, its speed too, hold on, like, this already outspeeds most of the Ubers metagame already. Like, I know Ubers is a very slow tier, and I really don't think like there would be much reason to have to run Timid on here. I guess Timid would be nice for Marshadow, obviously, and Timid or Jolly for that. So yeah, that's not even bad. But still, you take advantage of a base 167 special and physical attack stat. Like, this thing is so crazy, dude. This thing is legitimately insane. It gets Heat Wave, Knockoff, Earthquake, Stone Edge, Outrage, I think, right? Or not even, like, even if it just gets Dragon Pulse, that's still stab. That's still doing so much damage. And then if it gets access to potentially Lunala and damn it, Solgalio's signature moves and Moongeist Beam and Sunsteel Strike, that's even more coverage that this thing has, and it can just come in and just destroy everything. Yeah, it does suck losing its ability to take less damage from super effective moves, but with its decent bulk, it can still tank so many hits. Like, a mix set already just seems so good on this set. There's no way. There's legitimately no way this thing is gonna end up being in OU. Like, I know that for a fact. Like, Ubers for sure. Is it Ubers ban worthy? I don't know. If you guys play Ubers, let me know. Do you think this thing is gonna be banned? I would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on these three forms of Necrozma. I myself am so excited, man. If for some reason Dusk Main and Dawn Wing end up being OU, I'm definitely going to use them and see just how well they work out, and I'm definitely going to be using this new Necrozma form in Uber. So yeah guys, sorry that I rambled on for like 20 minutes, but this is all so exciting, man. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, and leave a like, and just oh my god, this is so crazy. I should have another video up later today, or just probably like 30 minutes after this, talking about like some of the move tutor moves that I'm actually pretty excited about. So yeah, let me know guys, and I'll see y'all later.